Oh yeah. As I look around at some calls, like the 375s, 365s, they have Beast sitting around $1, and they opened around $1.80, $2. So just a little bit of a slip down could get a number of those key calls to their Beast early today. Yeah, very interesting. SPY and QQQ dipping down. Ooh, that reminds me. I need to turn up your volume, because that was one thing I had. The volume I was piping into the stream yesterday was way down. So you were a little quiet. I watched a little bit of the stream.
Nice.
So hopefully now you should be just as loud as me on YouTube.
Rose says she's getting an echo.
So yeah, you'll want to mute, YouTube, right?
She said it is muted.
Then you probably should not be getting any echo, at least out of here.
Nice pop for SPY and QQQ right at our burger bottom, pretty much to the cent.
Ooh, nice coin. Got a little profit on that put you swung. Yeah, a little 500%. Why not? Good way to start the day. Nice bounce for SPYs and Qs at our open range buy zone.
Ooh, check out that 380 call where it opened. Cheap, but...
Actually, I was just pulling that up. Yeah, I said yeah, those 380s kind of just below our beast zone.
Look where it opened, right at beast bottom.
Yeah. Let's cut the difference. Let's look at like 78. Yep, those 78s open just above beast, pulled down and tapped it.
I really like this 270 call on QQQ. Right in beast. Opened at beast bottom. But need some signs of upside here first. Pick with a high of day of negative 730. Rejected back below negative 1,000. Now just hanging on to about negative 800.
Yep, I like that. A runner grows the account. I think that's definitely a topic we should touch on today with folks, just to say, what do we mean by a runner? How do we, pay for a runner with locking some profit so that, if it goes to zero, we don't worry about it. We could use a little discussion about that in here, about it, truly accepting zero. And what that means and how we use it.
Right now, and trying to work a position into those runners, right? With the intent of like, okay, just trying to get 1 or 2 contracts paid for to go to the moon or go to the grave.
Oh, yeah. And, the whole accepting zero and letting it go to its expiration. There are times, plenty of times in here where, maybe folks are hitting like Apple or BA on a Tuesday and they lock up the day trade when it, it could be paid for and you could let it play out till expiration. Definitely some good topics to cover there.
For sure, we see it all the time. A nice like beast bounce on like a Wednesday, oh, never comes back. Netflix popping here this morning.
Yep, Netflix was on watch for a potential upside move.
Oh man, it's happening right now.
I know, I'm trying to get my big screens up.
Netflix through our burger top up to point of control. All right, y'all, just sit here, write it open. Nothing to do just yet. Patience, patience. Yep, 309, that 380 call. A great contender here for this morning. Just keep watching it, brother. Got nothing to do just yet. Yep, 309. So that's a really good example right here. This 380 call of how I was talking about this week, that weekly buy zone, right? That non-shaded zone exists independently from the rest of the zones. Right, so as you can see, if you're looking at that 380 call, our opening range buy zone, right, our burger bottom, is actually negative. We're not really ever going to see that. So this is where our main beast zone steps in and becomes our buy zone.
VIX is rejecting at that 4-hour squeeze top that we talked about in prep. I really like that. We have that 4-hour squeeze top on that's formed on VIX.
Nice.
And we may sound crazy to be talking about upside after a big drop like that, but we've seen time and time again, they will have some big drop like that, get everybody geared up for another sell-off, and pop it right back up.
Right, and now more than ever, right? This is what they do. Gear up one way, get everyone excited, boom, back the other way. Start to gear up that direction, get everyone excited, boom, back the other.
Greg, I would say mute YouTube because there is likely a few second delay. All indices starting to push up a little bit. YM getting back over 32,000.
I can't believe YM was at 33,000 yesterday. Oh,
Right.
shit. Not
SPY
this
starting to get up.
35.
Sorry.
No, go ahead, go ahead.
Oh, just SPY starting to kind of break out and get up to our open range sell zone.
IC also testing 0 now. Let's see how we do here, right? You know, we want to get out of this opening range to see an actual move, right? We're going to get some chop here early after the big move yesterday. We're going to go right back to our burger bottom, right? Our opening range buy zone here on SPY and Qs. Qs already rejected. ADD pumping though through our Q level of negative 1700 and up into our burger top here on ADD.
Apple with a new low of day. Tesla's been strong so far, opened around 211, back up to that 216. Let's see, it's a Thursday. Let's take a quick look at the Tesla. $220s. QQQ new low of day. There you go. Our Tesla, those 220 calls opened at like $1.70, fell right to our beast level near $1.15, low day 96 cents, and they moved from $1.15 up to about 270, 275. Definitely a strike that we'd want to keep an eye on today. This Tesla's already shown it's a little strong. And Apple just slipping. Also Microsoft falling with Apple. Getting to that 217 and a half.
Take it back down to that negative 1000. Hard popping VIX back up through 26.5 at 26.6.
Yep, SPY new low of day. Those 365s on SPY got to our open range buy zone at about 90 cents and popped up hard to $1.50, $1.85 on that drop.
Oh man, I had those up, was not looking.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a good one.
Yep.
So here,
And you know, and a lot of times at open, you know, let's say you didn't take the long off of the buy zone. When it gets to the sell zone, you want to watch those puts. And sometimes, you know, at open, we're just going to play back and forth calls and puts until it breaks out one way. So there are plenty of times where I'll be in a call I'll see the put getting to its buy zone. I'll buy that put, lock a little profit on the call. Then the put pops up real hard on a drop, back to our buy zone. Lock some profit on the put, leave a runner. Same on the call, just back and forth while we wait for a direction to be set outside of this open range. QQQ slipping a little bit below its buy zone. SPY still holding up. Oh, I'm curious what Yep, and again, we did have some data that dropped at 9:45. We have a little bit of 10. Still just gathering information, right? We popped up to our sell zone, we popped back to, or we dropped back to our buy zone. And as that data rolls out, if we're not diving out of that buy zone, it's still a good shot to go long. Those 140 puts on Apple got into our buy zone of about 78 cents and ran up to $1.72 in this drop on Apple. Apple popped up to its sell zone first. So this is a great lesson for anybody watching on YouTube. I am kind of jumping around and looking at different strikes to try and help show you guys what's going on. And there's a lot of times I say, let it make a move to one of our buy or sell zones and take the first trade. It at least can get you in at the first zone that we test. And if it's wrong and we keep going up, right, you can cut it at a measured loss. Let's pull this so we can see it a little better. So Apple made that quick bounce up to its sell zone, and at the same time these puts hit the blue line in the middle of our buy zone. That blue line is the most important, right? So Apple gets down, or the 140 puts get down from $1 to that 78 cents. That's where I try to get in the middle of that buy zone. And then you start putting profit targets at our sell zones and our next levels. The fact that these puts move so quickly from our buy zone to the outer shaded region, it could mean that we find a nice base here on Apple and start to work our way back up. Can we move lower on Apple and these push further into our sell zone? Absolutely. Can they push past this shaded sell zone and keep going? Yes. But these are the levels we try to work off every day. And you can see on these 140 puts yesterday, they came from their beast zone. I'll turn off the shading real quick just to show you. Yeah, Rose, I just pulled up Apple as an example because I wanted to point out, what had happened already to show you guys what to look for. Whatever ticker you're trading, whenever we interact with a buy or a sell zone first, that's usually where I like to try to take the first trade of the day. You can see SPY did provide a long, and then when it hits the sell zone, you pick up some puts. And now we're starting to break out of that range. Same on Apple, it popped up first to a sell zone, and so I'm showing a put and how it hit our buy zone at about 78 cents and took off. We can see that this put yesterday was bouncing at its beast zone, meaning, and I put an example like this in our webinar and in the in that slideshow that we went through on our webinar. And I think I was even talking about an Apple 140 put, and if they intend to take Apple to 140, they usually defend that beast zone. So yesterday these were down near like 8 cents and they were defending the beast zone. Would have been a great swing at 8 or 20 cents, right? And they're now almost 10x. And you can see they held that beast zone. And I know you're thinking, well, 8 cents. That's so damn low, but you pick up a few of those, maybe even 10 of them, because it's only $80. By close, they were up to about 35 cents for a 4x, where you could have locked some of them. Now they're about to be a 10x. Well, not off of 8 cents, off of 8 cents, they're almost 20x. But either way, if we turn our shaded levels back on Apple, we can see that we fell to our buy level at 78 cents, took off from that, now at $2. And Apple is arriving at our key level, our purple hash line in the Beast tool. It's like just talking about this trade. When it popped up to the sell zone, I'd be getting the put. And as it's getting outside of the sell zone and hitting this midway point, I'd be locking some profit. And those are well over a double, almost a triple. And Apple, it's only made a little move, couple points down. Markets, slipped down, about almost 3 points from the high it just set when it rejected our sell zone. So hopefully that's making sense, just trying to help show you guys, how we work off of this tool. Those 365s on SPY got down to that buy zone, and at that like 90 cents, right? Those are up to $1.50 now. Is that helpful? Is that making sense to folks? A lot of times coming into the day, it's just what did we react with first? Take a shot. When we get to the opposing zone, lock up some profit, take shot in the opposite direction. Obviously, with such a big drop and a gap down, things are going to be very bearish today. All of Wall Street is going to try to short everything into the ground. Not that dramatic, just saying, The overall sentiment is we have changed directions to be going down. So, maybe if you didn't even play that first pop, reaction at the sell zone is what you're looking for. Also, one thing to note on an options chart like this, when you have a big wick like that, there are times that, that big wick happened on a fat dump when that data dropped, right? we've seen plenty of instances where now they're going to hold back premium on this, even though we're grinding lower than where that candle was that dumped us. So much volume and so much energy made that big pop up, and now they're going to try to keep premium below that because everybody that's getting in from here is expecting to go back to that wick. So they love to let that happen and then hold back the premium. Alright, let's look at those 275s again. Looks like Apple's going to make it to that 138.8, 138 zone. Not quite there yet, but I talked about this in prep, right? I said if we can't hold up around this 141, then we could dump to 140 and that 138. Reek. I guess he searched for 3700 and we've been playing that put on like every drop. On the 360.
I gotta bounce her a little bit. I'll be back.
Alright, sounds good, man.
Later.
Later. I need to turn down this lo-fi bot a little bit. There, that's a little better. Ooh, big old pop. Apple catching a bounce now. Just for fun, let's throw up some Apple calls for comparison. Let's see where they're at. And right back down. Look at that on this SPY put. Wicked down to like 74 cents and then right back up to $1.60.
This speaker to amplify my thoughts so people will quit asking me for sandwiches. That should work, right?
I don't know what you're talking about, Space Ghost.
Go ahead,
My
Mozart.
show was...
Yeah, let's go like the 142s and see where they're at.
Yeah, we poked you with sticks till you fell down. Remember?
You sure I didn't harness the power of the sun?
No, it's definitely sticks. Beaten with sticks.
All right, go get them.
Alright, so 375 calls, just tapped beast at about $1.10. Those 142 calls almost tapped beast, was 79 cents, low to 82 cents. So these are the calls I'd be watching. I'm watching Apple and SPY because, you know, Apple has a ton of weight wherever Apple's going, SPY is going to follow. Takes a lot of rotation against Apple for the market to move against Apple.
Ow! Ow! Not there! Ow! Ow!
Those puts starting to go below their trail line ever so slightly on this bounce.
Welcome to the program.
I'm sorry. I thought the show was over.
It started?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
SPY making it back up to 370 at the bottom of our buy zone. You can see how we reversed on that purple hash line. That purple hash line is a midpoint, right? We have our opening range shaded areas to play off of. We have outer shaded areas that can be the destination of where we're going, but the midline we always want to pay attention, especially time of day when we arrive at a midline. Still early in the day, can easily reverse from here and head back up into our open range. Try to push to the midline up. We could reject this buy zone, make an H through that midline and continue on for our destination zone. Come on, Toss, don't start freezing on me. Nice bounce by getting back into that open range buy zone. SPY is getting up and testing 3 and 5 minute MAs. We can see our MA cloud here. We use this cloud for continuation, so this is the point where they will reject if they intend to keep going down. Like I was saying, we could get up to this open range buy zone, reject, and come back for an H. Typically, these moving average clouds, it's where they're going to reject from. Maybe a little better illustrated in Apple, since it did push further outside of its open range. So Apple testing that first cloud will cause a flag, could potentially reject and head back for a new low. Could also pop through this flag to get up to the next cloud. And I only have the two, which are based on 3 minute and 5 minute MAs. Because once we're above that, we are, in my opinion, usually changing trend as long as we hold above it. There's sometimes when we get above it for like 2 or 3 candles and then dump right back. But these MA clouds are the resistance right now in Apple or SPY trying to push higher. Let's look around the board. YM got down to that 31,800 and held it, slipped a little bit below it, but got back above it. Now pushing up to its 5-minute cloud. Tesla's been just holding up, fought up to that 216, pulled back to VWAP at like 215 and still pushing up for more. Tesla very strong. Netflix holding up well, still in its open range. Microsoft dumped out of its open range. Google dumped out of its range. Tesla is above its open range, and Netflix is just sitting right near its open. Hasn't really sold off. Gave one hard pop this morning. So we should definitely be keeping an eye on Netflix as well to the upside. And yes, 309, did you have up any of those Apple strikes? I know we talked about that after close yesterday. And I said, definitely watch those 140 puts tomorrow. They could provide a great trade. That ended up happening from about that 80 cents to 230. And if you were just strictly working off our levels, buying in the middle of that buy zone, it would have been 78 cents, and selling at that outer shaded yellow line, it would have been $1.99. Ah, wonderful. There we go. Nice. So it sounds like you're trading your plan. Very nice. Ugh, man, yeah, YouTube is very lagged. I just pulled up what I can see of the live stream, and it's just now showing those moving average clouds that I was talking about like a minute ago. SPY made it into that second cloud, starting to reject back to the first cloud. Could be the start of another rollover. Those 365s holding their open level. Those 375s got back tapped beast and got back over their trail line. So in this flag, you can take a position off this trail line to go up, and you can take position off of this open level to go back down on the put, right? Apple holding above 140 for now. And, just set a higher low on that purple hash line. Again, these calls, these 142s, look great. They just bounced at their trail line when they got through, and they've gone about 87 cents up to $1 already. Small move, I know, but this is where we start to take position for what can turn into a better move, getting back up into our levels above. Frankly, let's see, back to 130, is if Apple gets back up to this 141, where this cloud and that open range buy zone is, these 142 calls will go from this 90 cents or $1 up to about $1.30, $1.40. And if you're wondering, like, how can he tell what the price will be if we get up there? Stop it. This zoomed, right? There we go. You can just kind of look left, right? Last time we were up at $1.30, $1.40, it was $9.45 when Apple was near 141. So Apple getting back to that 141 should put these calls right back up at those levels. Apple's starting to bounce. SPY starting to get through that 5-minute 21. These 375s on SPY have gone from their beast of about $1.10, low days $1.12. They're up to $1.73. Excuse me. Where is Discord? There we go. Carl Jones, to answer your question, yeah, let me hit edit studies on my SPY chart, and you'll see that I'll have a compression cloud up. Right now, let's see, SPY, where are you, SPY? Has an hourly that's starting to form. So I'll set that compression cloud to whatever my watch list says. So my watch list says there's an hourly forming. That's why the compression cloud's set to an hour. I've got my B study. I've got VWAP, one of my buy sell bots, and my cloud, my MA cloud. That's basically it. About the only other thing I would add is my trend tool. Some of those puts getting back to buy levels as SPY gets back to its open level. Looking at like that 365. Come on. SPY starting to reject its open level. Those puts bouncing again at 88 cents. Come on, Toss, what are you doing? There we go. Oh damn, is NVIDIA making a move? I swear I think I replaced NVIDIA with Netflix to keep an eye on it. And of course, NVIDIA starts making a move. Okay, yeah, got down to its buy zone, up to its sell zone. Nice, okay. My chart wasn't updating, here we go. Yeah, okay, held its buy zone, getting up. Yeah, NVIDIA's booming. Rotation into chips. Talked about that in prep today. We could see some of the love for chips. Especially since they're all at a discount after the market dropped yesterday. Nice bounce for SPY as it pulled back to those MA clouds. Great bounce for SPX. It got back up to its open range buy zone and they keep buying those dips. Those 365 puts still holding that open range buy zone. So you could absolutely take a shot on those. Even if you are long, you know, it's worth taking a little shot. 74 cents up to 88 cents on those puts. Because we could reject here and start to fall back down. They already went for a double from that 88 cents up to about $1.70. Now they're back at that 88 cents and they keep bouncing. That's basically, how I play off of these buy levels. The calls got down. The ones we keep talking about, those 375s, got down near Beast, where we pick them up. The calls are working out. They're at $1.80. You lock some profit on the calls. You take a little shot on the puts. Because we never know what the next candle is going to bring. Can we push higher? Yes. Can we reject and start to roll over again? Yes. Either is possible. So we have to take our shots when we get to our buy zones. YM is about to tap VWAP. Ready is back to VWAP and actually ready to set a new high of day. Looks like we're going to keep pushing a little more. SPY's still kind of lagging here. Apple not really helping, it slipped back down to 140, starting to bounce again. And you can shift out, like let's say you think Apple rolls over here, you can shift out to say the 138 puts. There's SPY starting to get through at 372 now, where it was struggling. Call's starting to push a little more over the open levels, almost to $2. And hopefully you guys can see on those 375 calls how it taps Beast, starts an uptrend, and arrives at one of our levels on the Beast tool like that open. So that's where I'd be locking profit. And leaving runners to try to get up to the sell zone above on those calls. It's up at like 280, right? And we're probably going to suffer some pullbacks along that journey. That's why I continue to watch those puts. They slipped that 88 cents, getting down to the bottom of our buy zone. This is definitely, where we take a shot as SPY is retesting the open range sell zone that it rejected earlier. Those Apple calls held their low of day near 82 cents, held that trail line, and now bouncing right back up to $1.08. Point being, like, the more you watch interactions at these levels, the more confident you get, like placing an order there, being ready so that when it gets right near it, you can get into the trade. And, you know, most of the time it immediately starts to work in your favor. We watch those retests of the trail lines as well. YM is at that 32,000, starting to get through. VWAP sits pretty much right there as well. SPX getting up to its open level and starting to push over its open level. So now we're talking about a gap fill, right, on SPX. And like I talk about most days, playing the gap fill is you know, should be first in our idea of like a trade, excuse me, a trade thesis for the day. Yes, we fell a little lower. We bounced at our midlines, and now we're pushing back up and starting to fill the gap. Some days we just hold our open range buy zone. Other days we slip down to that midline. But it's like I was trying to say on SPY, we can go from the midline down to the midline up. And just a few more green candles will be arriving there. Apple is up in its to VWAP and at its 5-minute 21 cloud, right? Those Apple calls, those 142s, they've gone, you know, call it 85 cents up to $1.20. About a 50% gain. Those 375 calls went for, you know, almost a double. Starting to reject our sell zone on SPY just a little. SPX is retesting its open level. SPY rejecting more, falling back down. Those puts got down near that 74 cents, popping back up to that 88 cents. And let's say on these puts you entered around that 75 cents and it dumps through. Again, I never panic on just a candle dumping through. I always wait a candle or two, and if we're right back over it, it's still a decent entry. That's why most of the time when I enter a put, if you've watched my OCO video, I have a stop that's like 20 or 30% from my entry. It's so I can allow, a candle or two to go past my entry, and as long as it comes right back, it's still a viable trade. And if you want, you can start to move your stop up to your entry. It could get taken out, but I generally like to let the trade start working in my favor, start to get up a good amount, and then start to move my stops up with the price action. Because we never quite know which rejection is going to be the one to change trend. This right now is a measured pullback. Those calls are still holding their trail lines. Apple rejected VWAP. YM fell back below VWAP, back below that 32,000, back to its MA cloud, starting to catch a little bounce. And if we go back to prep, I talked about a number of names looking good to the upside. Talked about Tesla, Netflix, Chips, BA. Tesla and Chips and BA have all been making nice moves to the upside. Netflix, it's a little bit of a lagger, but it's holding up better than other names like Apple and Microsoft. Oh yeah, BA opened around that 148, got back up to yesterday's highs near 153, actually set a new high. We can take a quick look at the BA 150s, 152s. Okay, yeah, here's a great example on BA. Those 150 calls. Come on. Here's those 150 calls on BA. You can see they popped up pretty hard first and they started to fade back. In these scenarios on an option chart, we want to watch that open level. Whenever an option, call or put, makes a nice push up and then comes back to retest open, that is a great entry. And as you can see, those 150 calls went from $1.50 up to our outer shaded region at 430. We can even look at the 152s, and we'll probably see the same kind of pattern. Is that 152 and a half, maybe? Yep. Yep, kind of the same pattern. Those 152s came back to their open level and held around there at like 88 cents. Those are up to 270 and getting to our outer shaded region. Apple trying to hold 140. And if you can see on this 142 that I've had up, you know, if you got in near where it was tapping Beast, Beast is 79 cents, low of day was 82, just set a new low of 81. Point being, if you got in near Beast, you did see some decent return, about 50%. And, you know, even though it came back to entry, it's not diving lower just yet. Point being, you know, the big key takeaway of this system is that we're trying to minimize any losses or any drawdown on trades. And we do that by entering at the key levels that our Beast tool plots on your options charts. Again, we're pretty much the only service that provides these kinds of key levels on your options chart where the price action is going to interact with these levels. Man, BA pushing for more, almost to 155. Just for fun, let's see what those 155s did. Apple bouncing again. SPY held its open level and its MAA clouds, bouncing back up to try to get back to high, getting through that previous high day from open. Hey, let's go watch. Nice trade on the video. $1 to 275. Yeah. That's why we try to say, most days most days on the trades that we're watching, we're getting a double. And it sometimes it's even just a small move that gives us a double. Yep, right, we want to look for strength. Apple's not really showing that strength right now. Can it get going? Yes, but it's got resistance, those MA clouds that it's staying below. Still trying to base. The difference being, as you look around, let's look at NVIDIA. I talked about BA and prep yesterday, how it was pushing while the market was slipping, and even with that drop that it had, or even with the drop in the market, BA did not really give up very much of what it gained on the day. Here's a great example on NVIDIA. Got up to its open range sell zone, made one little dip to its open range buy zone, and then bounced, even gave one last test. This is where we're entering at that open range buy zone, and it takes off to our outer shaded region. And those NVIDIA calls, I'm sure we're rocking. Watch got almost a triple on those. We can take a look at BA. Same exact pattern. Look at this on BA. Same exact thing that we just saw on NVIDIA. It's not updated the darn chart yet. Hold on. There we go. We look at BA. It gave a nice hard pop. It faded back to our MA clouds and held its open level. This is where we look for the continuation trade. They showed accumulation and wanting to go to the upside on BA. We let it fade back to our MA clouds, and that's where you load in. Those calls made it back to their open level. That's where you load in and play it up to our outer shaded region. The majority of the time, we're locking up the core of our position in that outer shaded region. We might leave runners in case it keeps going, and we watch for a potential reversal. With BA being so strong, yesterday while the market was slipping, and today, we might not get a reversal that brings us back. It might just settle up in this price range. SPY just set a new high of day and then pulled back a little bit. You can see those calls on SPY, those 375s, held the trail line on our tool. The trail line is there to help you gauge if there's going to be continuation. Usually when there's a pullback to that trail line, it settles and they load in more to keep going. Even if you got in at that trail line on those 375s at about $1.60, they're up to about 220. Buy, new high, pushing for more, getting over 373. QQQ is getting up to its open range sell zone. Starting to wake up a little bit on QQQ. Apple's coming back to VWAP. You know, Google and Amazon still kind of weak. Microsoft and Apple both getting over VWAP and at their open range buy zone. Oh no, did Vidi go more? Let's look at that in a video, 135. On Apple, you can see it went from that 81 cents back up to $1.15, almost $1.20, with pretty much no drawdown if you were in, you know, at 80 to 85 cents. I mean, you could have got in at 80 cents since the lows 81, but, you know, let's say you got in at 85 cents when it pulled back a couple of times. It only got down to 81 cents and held. Never got to our beast level. Basically just meaning that Apple does have a chance to get back to 142 today because they are defending near that beast level. We use those beast levels to understand investor intent. Ooh, Tesla got above 220, putting those 220s in the money. Oh, you got in those apples at 87 cents. There you go. They're up to $1.25. Almost 50% for you there. And you know, like on Apple for that example, we got up to that 120, 125. You definitely want to lock profit a little bit there, right? You pick up a few contracts at 80, 85 cents, whatever. When it gets up to the last point that it rejected on our beast tool, you want to lock a little bit of profit there, right? Pay yourself along the way. YM back over 32,000 and pushing for more. It even held on a pullback above 32,000. Ready has almost made it back to its open level from overnight. Ooh, VIX got down below 26. SPX kind of tapping our open range sell zone and pulling back a little bit. Something to keep an eye on. Apple's holding above its MA clouds. Just pulled back to them and catching a bounce. Starting to mark the change of trend on those MA clouds. Yeah. So I just set a new high again. 374 is a big key level on SPY. Let's see if we can get up to it. We have our purple hashed midline sitting just above that. That's kind of the target zone for right now. I'm curious if I add a couple of charts, is it gonna scrunch this too much? Yeah, it's gonna scrunch it too much. Man, BA is still pushing. One thing to note is that some of those puts have come to fill their gap up. Looking at like the 268 put, it just arrived at where it topped out at the end of the day. Something that we want to keep an eye on. ES made it to that 3750, having a little sharp pullback from it, testing MA clouds. Apple's starting to slip back below those MA clouds. Oh man, those BA 155s went about 40 cents to 320. ES ES made it to the let's see, I think what is that, 5-minute 45, and rejected a little. What are these lines? No, 15-minute 45, sorry. Got a key level on ES here at 37.41. See if it can hold. VWAP sitting right below that. Little bounce starting to form on SPY as it tests its MA clouds. Those 375 calls on SPY just held their trail line. And right back down on that bounce. Man. ES trying to hold view up, and it's MA clouds. Yeah, watch. The 92 call on Amazon did not have a beast this morning. I can take a quick look to see if it's got one yet.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Let's see. Yeah, the
Excuse me. A damn fine cup of coffee.
I can say here. I'll give a little screenshot of the chain on Amazon. I can say that the 90 call is sitting at its beast at about $1.54. Nice little bounce for SPY. Drifted back a hair below that 372, but got right back over. Alright, I think I'm going to go ahead and stop the stream here just for now. My computer is just very taxed on resources, and clicking on anything takes seconds. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the stream here for now, and I'll probably fire it back up in the afternoon. You know, pretty much, I think plan for the stream should be that we kind of stream the first 2 hours, stream the last 2 hours, or right around there. Because we all know how that lunch chop can settle in and the market slows down. So we will likely start the stream back up here in a little bit.